We're going to look at 5.4 part 1, solving radical equations. All right, well, to be honest, I'm going to be teaching this in class, but I'm going to make this video for those that aren't in class. All right, a radical equation is the equation that has a variable in a radicand or a variable with a rational exponent. If the radical has index 2, the equation is also called a square root equation. In this lesson, assume that all radicals and expressions with exponents represent real numbers. All right, so here's our index, here's radical. The radicand is what's inside. All right. All right. Okay, so what we want to do first is you want to isolate the square root. All right? Or any root. All right, you want to isolate the root, and then if it's a square root, then you're going to square it. If it's a cubed root, you're going to cube it. And then you're going to solve. All right, so we're going to add 5. Adding 5 gives me 5 here. All right, so now we're going to square both sides. All right, that removes the square root. So we have 4x plus 1 equals 25. Subtract 1. 4x equals 24. Divide by 4. X equals 6. All right, so I believe the answer is x equals 6, okay? But you always want to check your answer because you could get extraneous solutions. All right, so 4 times 6 is 24, plus 1 is 25. The square root of 25 is 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. All right, so it works after we check it out. All right, once again, I'm going to get the square root by itself. So we're going to add 3, which will give me 5. Then we're going to square both sides. All right, so this is very similar to the last problem. Okay, we're going to add 23. 48. Divide by 4. All right, which would give us 12. And then we're going to check. 4 times 12 is 48 minus 23. Which is 25, which is 5. 5 minus 3, 5 minus 3 is 2. All right, so it works. To solve equations in the form of this, raise each side to the equation to the reciprocal power. All right? All right, so I'm going to get the cubed root by itself. So we're going to subtract 3. All right, then we're going to cube both sides. So we need parentheses. All right, so when you cube a negative, you still get a negative. Okay, so the negative doesn't go away. So this would be negative x. So cubing the cubed root will make it go away. So that's just x. All right. Cubing negative 3. So it's negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 is negative 27. All right. Dividing by negative 1, we're going to get x equals 27. All right. We could check it. All right, so it works. All right, we're going to subtract 3. 11 minus 3, 8. Okay, now to get rid of the 3/2 power, we're going to raise it to the reciprocal power, which is 2/3 power on both sides. All right, so these go away, so we would just get 4 minus x. All right, and this is the cubed root of 8, which is 2, and 2 squared is 4. So that's all 4. All right. All right, we're going to subtract 4. Which would give us 0. All right, so we're going to check our answer. So this is, it's 0, so it goes away. So the square root of 4 is 2, and 2 cubed is 8. So that becomes 8, and 3 plus 8 is 11. All right, so it checks out. All right, we're going to divide by 3 first. 81 divided by 3, 27. All right, now we're going to do the reciprocal power, which is 4/3 power. All right, so that's going to give me x plus 3. All right, so to do this mentally, you want to do the cubed root of 27 first, which is 3, and 3 to the 4th, which is 81. And we're going to subtract 3. 78. All right, so I think the answer is 78. So we're going to check it. 78 plus 3 is 81 to the 3/4 power equals 81. All right, the 4th root of 81 is 3, and 3 cubed is 27. So this is 3 times 27. All right, which is 81. So it works out. How can you solve radical equations? Answer: to solve radical equations, first isolate the radical or exponent, then raise each side to either the power suggested by the index or the reciprocal. All right, that's what we just did. All right. All right, so I guess that's the end of this video. All right, see you soon.